His name is Gift David Mighty Okpara.
In the previous episode, we were shocked to hear the tragic events that unfolded as the notorious cult leader, Gift Okpara David, alias Tubaba, unleashed violent rampage and claimed the lives of over 30 people in his community, including the police DPO of Ahoda Division. This week, as we continue this harrowing story, we'll delve deeper and explore the crucial role of the Commissioner of Police, Rivers State, Tunji Disu, and how he strategically utilized his skilled team of officers of the Rapid Response Squad, the Intelligence Response Team, Anti-Cultism Team, and other committed police officers in C4I and Marine Team to bring the lawless criminal and his gang to justice. The difficulty faced in achieving the onerous task of recovering the remains of DPO Bako and that of Tubaba can be better imagined.
We caught up with him in Ibras. He died in Ibras, but members of his gang went away with the body, as I mentioned earlier. Now, how do we convince members of the community? How do we convince the nation that yes, Tubaba had been killed? It was so difficult to convince them. Nobody believed it has happened. So I came back and addressed the men. I thanked them for a wonderful job they have done because I knew the effort everybody has put into the job. I thanked them for the job and I encouraged them that I know that definitely we'll find out where the corpse was kept. So we went back to the table and re-strategized, went back to the community, gathered intelligence. I want to tell you that the people of that community and Rivers State in general have been wonderful with the Nigerian police. They have cooperated with us wonderfully. Any information we wanted, we got. People really assisted us. And don't forget that the governor placed a bounty on the head of Tubaba and members of his gang. People came up to give us wonderful information. They earned that money.
But here we go. In fact, the support, the motivation from our able CP, Tunji Disu, the day he assumed office in Rivers State Command, he never entered his office. After addressing the men, he moved all the tactical teams and his management teams to Ahoda. He went and assessed the terrain, and he came back. Well, we thank God for this CP we have. He break the teams into different groups. We have the strike force, we have the intelligence unit, and others. We go back to drawing boards. And after we have gotten the intels, we prepared, he addressed us. Are we sure we can penetrate into the camp? And we gave him the assurance that we will. He asked us 3 times, and we replied, by God will, we'll enter the camp. The motivation I talk about, he ordered for the DC Ops to give us all the equipment we needed, and we were given, and we made the move. I think we left as early as 3 a.m. The challenge we earlier discussed on how to enter the camp, you know, Tubaba have the belief that any security man that will penetrate into his camp must come through the water. And that water, going through the water, is a suicide mission. So we make up our mind, gather the intels, and we make it that we have to penetrate through the swamp. And going through the swamp, There are a lot of challenges we face because the swamp was so thick, was so deep. If you put your leg, it will reach you to your knee. But upon that, we never relent. We were facing other challenges like the red tide in the swamp. Yes, the swamp bees, by God's grace. In fact, it took us 3 to 4 hours inside the swamp P area to reach the main camp. Approaching the camp, they engage the teams. And let me take you back. We have strong teams that the CP, to the DSU form. The tactical teams comprises of anti-cultism, anti-kidnapping, CP strike force, Sting, Octopus, and all the commanders were part of these operations. As a human, some of us will like to, Oga, can we make it? Yes, but believe me, most of us have already dedicated ourselves that we will make it. Immediately at the swamp, reaching close to the camp, he engaged with his boys, numbering about 30, and we returned fire. So most of them escaped with bullet wound. And you know, because they knew that we might come through the water, and they always have their standby boats. That was how they not pick the wounded ones, those that pick bullets and escaped. The camp was taken over by us.
Yeah, we are there. Actually,
Searched rifles, ammunitions, including dynamite, were recovered. That particular day we invaded the camp, we recovered those arms and ammunition. We went back, we pulled back to the base. I told you the CP has different categories of team working on these particular operations. The information, the intel he gathered that the body of the late DPO Bako was buried in that camp. We have to mobilize and go back to the same camp. Actually, the prescription of where he was buried, in Anthill. And actually, there was an anthill there. We never even talk of the shrines that he believes on that can save him. Several shrines were there. So we went straight to the anthill. The anthill was dug. The body was recovered, believing to be the late Bako's body. And we were brought back to the commands. And a sample was taken from Bako's mothers and his brothers and taken to Lagos for scientific analysis. That is where we believe it was the late Bako's body. And the body was exhumed right inside the anthill. And others' graves, shallow graves, were equally seen in that camp. Maybe believing some of his men that fall down from the security assault, or innocent people that he might have killed. That very particular day, we put an assault into his camp. We believe that most of them, even including him, has picked bullet. So the information reaching the command that the gang members took him to Ibras forest. And I told you our able CP Tunde Disu has his intel, the way he got his intels, and he leads us back to the forest. That's Ibras forest. That is how his body was recovered. This is not being done. I don't think police officers in Rivers State has a say. Any DPO taken to Ahoda will not be there as a DPO because he cannot perform his function as a DPO. But with this, I think we are good to go. We are good to go. We are happy people. And we are much thankful to our CP.
The chairman of Ahoda East Local Government Area expressed relief and happiness that the monstrous, notorious criminal had been eliminated, allowing the community to return to everyday lives.
I was so happy. Happy because at least businesses can now thrive in our local government. People can now go about, their usual businesses. I went straight to the CP that day and I commended him. I also commended our DPO here. And of course, all the men, because they're still on ground. The tactical commanders, those I had their phone numbers, I called them and commended them because I was even one of his targets. He told a former DPO here that he would kill me upon my leaving office. So he went to that extent. So anybody who was on his list should be happy. So I was happy.
The community, represented by His Majesty, Dr. Felix Otarikpo, praised the police, particularly the new Commissioner of Police, for helping to reduce crime to the barest minimum by neutralizing Tubaba and a good number of his cult members.
The coming of Tunji Disu created that opportunity to reduce the crime here to the barest minimum. He was able to galvanize his officers and they dealt with Tubaba. How many weeks does it take him?
ASP Mercy Nweke, legal officer with the Rivers State Police Command, provided clarity on the legal proceedings of those being prosecuted over the death of SP Bako. She said plans are in progress to approach the court to confiscate all his properties proved to have been gotten through proceeds of crime.
DPO Bako was the divisional police officer of Ahoda Division. And when he was killed, several persons were arrested. At the end of the interrogation, the case was charged to court. Over 30 persons were charged to court, first at the magistrate court. Now, the matter is ongoing at High Court. First of all, it is very trite law that when properties are gotten through illegal means, the government has the right to confiscate them or seize them and make use of them. If it is found that all the properties in question were gotten through illegal means, proceeds of crime, the government is going to confiscate them or seize them through legal ways. It's a matter of going to court to apply.
The wife of the fallen DPO, Mrs. Rosemary Bako Angbashim, testified to her husband's heroism.
He's a good man. He's a hero. Since we married for 18 years now, but we got married. He was working with Ministry of Land and Survey. Before he joined the police, we got married. He's not a policeman. He's working with the Ministry Land and Survey. After 6 years, he got police. He told me that he wants to join police. I said, okay, now. I even advised him. Today, Bako is no more. I pray may his soul rest in perfect peace. He fights for the peace. He needs peace in Ahoda. Since he died at the course of the duty, that is what God wants. God wants him to stay. He will never die. Since God took him, who am I to question him? I have 4 children with Bako, 1 boy, 3 girls. My firstborn, 2nd July, he will be 17 years. My second daughter, she will be 16 years. My third one, she will be 11 years. December 25th. My last born, Sonia Bako, she's 2 years.
Although murdered brutally and horrifically, the late SP Bako Angbashim was proudly honored posthumously for his bravery alongside the Commissioner of Police, Tunji Disu, Rivers State Command, by the Inspector General of Police, Olukayode Adeolu Egbetokun, in the maiden edition of the Nigeria Police Award, instituted by the Egbetokun administration.
Today, we begin to formally recognize and reward the steadfast dedication of our officers who have consistently exceeded their duties to ensure the safety of our nation. Throughout its history, the human elements, our officers, have been crucial in fulfilling our core responsibilities, both nationally and on the global stage. Amongst us are the true unsung heroes of our nation, those who have tirelessly prioritized the country's interest over their own interest. Tragically, many have made the supreme sacrifice, while others have sustained permanent injuries in the line of duty. We will honor the memory of officers who have made the ultimate sacrifice with posthumous award. Lastly, the Inspector General of Police Special Recognition Award will be given to individuals who have significantly contributed through their invaluable services and support to the current police administration and the maintenance of internal security in our country. Additionally, I pledge to the families of our fallen colleagues that we will diligently pursue justice for those responsible for their losses. This we are currently doing at the same speed with which we have pursued and concluded the processing of their due benefits. The checks for the insurance benefits will be presented to their next of kin here today, along with their posthumous award.
Commissioner of Police of the Year. Commissioner of Police, Rivers State Command, CP Olatunji Disu. Please put your hands together for him as he proceeds to receive this recognition from no less a person than the President of the Senate of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the Civil Senator Godswill Akpabio. Was able to arrest those who killed that DPO in Rivers State. And he has been able to arrest those criminals terrorizing the Rivers State Command since accession of duty as Command CPA in Rivers State. These are the family members of our fallen heroes. Ladies and gentlemen, everyone in this hall, the least we can do is to appreciate the surviving members of these families. Please put your hands together for them.